It's Sunday. Hope you're having a great Sunday. Here it's the start of a week in Israel. And yeah, it's quite a day here. We got a lot going on, obviously. The whole ceasefire thing happening, supposedly, starting today. We will see. Yeah, all I'll say about that is I wish the hostages who will be released a safe and speedy return, and that they will recover some way. And those who are not being released yet, I wish that they will be released ASAP as well. And may it happen. I'm not going to get into the politics in this video. I just wanted to say that because that is probably the only good thing that will come out of this entire event, in my opinion. But anyway, about hey buddy, how you doing? Hey, good boy, good cat. About the crypto markets. I know. Bitcoin is the gorilla, you can't ignore it, but Solana is the one making the sick move, right? Yesterday, Saturday, was leading the market, and even today it's having a nice little move up so far on the day, right? Yesterday it topped out at 270, literally at the start of the Alpha Trading live stream when we told you take your profits. People who did got their profits at the high. It then proceeded to dump out 10% during the next hour, literally during our live stream, where it found buy pressure, not once but twice, at the power mean, and then once on the normal distribution just below the power mean, and began to run back up. Well, more like jog back up. Regained about half of what it had lost over the next couple hours or so, and then kind of stay there as it seemed obvious that it would, given the VEPS information. And then just about a couple hours ago, what couple hours ago, like an hour ago, on a trending move to the upside, it hit a new high above yesterday's high. Actually, last I checked, it was basically wandering around that high. You know, it's in what they call blue skies territory, right? Like price discovery zone, meaning there is no history where the asset has been this high before. So what do you need to look for? Well, you just need to keep your eye on the VEPS as normal, because that is what is going to tell you the proper information. For example, when it hit the high, was it in a random walk or a trending move? Because it could certainly do both on either. Well, it was in a trending move this time, right? On the 15-minute anyway. You know, but if you look at certain higher time frames, you'll see, oh, it was in a random walk or whatever. So, does it mean it's not possible for it to keep ripping up? No, it's entirely possible that after the trending move ends, it keeps ripping up. Right? It could rip up on a random walk, or it could reactivate another trending move, re-enter a trending move, and then it could continue to the upside. It could, you know, again, you got to also look at the volatility, right? It all comes down to the volatility, and the entropy shows you, right? But the volatility tells you so much, right? The variance, the volatility, they show you. It's very directional. I know people don't necessarily get that, but it is, right? Is it going to be a trending day on the VRE? Well, look at the central daily range. Is it tight or not? You know, the tighter, the better. Typically, I tell you, you know, if it's underneath 2% of the asset's value, it's going to be a trending day, usually. And if it's more than 2%, it'll probably be a ranging day. Of course, it depends, right? Depends on other factors too. But, it can also be that you'll have a trending day sometimes when the range is slightly wider or a lot wider than 2% of the asset's value. And it can also be that you'll have a ranging day when the central daily range is tighter, much tighter even than 2%, even tighter than 1%, right? It can happen, right? We look at all the information. Yes, the VRE can tell you whether or not the day is trending or ranging, but the entropy can tell you whether or not the candle you're on is ranging or trending, which is much more useful in that capacity. And knowing whether or not the day is ranging or trending is good for the overall big picture of the day, to know what the probability is, because there's always a probability that could range or trend, whether or not the central daily range is looking more like it's ranging or more like it's trending, right? Because we're always dealing with probabilities, right? Even the RMLR, which is amazing, and I love it. Right? I even tell you, with absolute certainty, it is very good. It is excellent. It is, almost perfect at telling you the future direction of the RMLR. Why do I say almost perfect? Because there's always a probability, right, that the direction of the RMLR can change, and it does sometimes, right? And what's great about the RMLR indicator is that it will indicate to you when the direction of the RMLR is not correlated to what it basically was set to do, right? So you can see when it has actually gone away from its prediction, right? Which is good because it lets you actually track, this indicator, on this candle, the indicator was saying it was going to go up, but then it shifted to down. And I could see that there with the negative, with the shift in the correlation, right? Or even the significant correlation, right? But how does that work? Well, that's all part of the magic sauce. But I can explain to you how to use the RMLR, which is more important than knowing how it works mathematically, right? Why don't I explain to you mathematically? Well, a lot of reasons. First of all, I don't build the plans, I fly them, right? I'm not, even if I happen to know how the math of an indicator works, or how the secret sauce of an indicator works, it doesn't mean that I'm going to talk about it as if I'm some math guru. I'm not a math guru, right? Well, what can I do though? Well, I can trade using the indicators, right? I can tell you how those work because I've been using them from the beginning, right? Alpha testing them, beta testing them, the whole deal, right? Testing them constantly and then using them constantly. And whenever we have new people joining into the community, I'm always happy to explain how to use the tools for trading, and also to point you to the references that we've created, the educational material that we've made, right? The book I wrote, the book we wrote together, me and my fellow co-founders. The educational channels full of information, right? The how-to and tutorial videos, right? The tutoring courses. There's no shortage of information that we can give. The question is, are you capable of learning it? Right? And the information that we have is high quality educational information. How do I know that? Well, we created it. And we know it's high quality because other non-aligned people who happen to also be experts at math, and specifically this particular kind, have looked at it and verified it and vouched for its authoritativeness. And there are people who have built and do build volatility related indicators. It's not a community of friendly people. You can't just easily go there and learn. It's, they're actually very mean and nasty to people who are new and want to learn. It's kind of ironic, but there's a lot of masochists in the world. But if you were watching the Alpha Trading live stream on Friday, then you would have seen very easily, very clearly that we told you, right? Bilbo said it very specifically. He's like, listen, if Bitcoin drops, if it tops out here and drops, based on the VEPS info that we're seeing, where it should drop from, like on the VRE levels, etc., then you're going to see probably Sol have, rip up. And that's exactly what happened, right? It rose like more than 24% from Friday to the high on Saturday. And then it dumped back down 10% after it hit that high. Literally, when we started our live stream, we told people, again, take profits, take your profits. During the course of that hour, price dumped 10%. Which, again, on the charts, you look at it on logarithmic scale, and you're like, well, that doesn't look so bad. Yeah, it's still 10%. It went up 24 and dropped 10. Yes, it began to climb back up after that, but it still lost 10. And not everybody got the 24, right? Most people, if they were lucky, got half that move, right? If they were lucky. And that's because they don't use the VEPS info. So then the asset proceeded to climb back up and went up more than the difference, but it took a good number of hours. It took from, what time would that have been? Noon Eastern time yesterday until about midnight. So about 12 hours. Right? And there was no guarantee that it would go back higher than yesterday's ATH. I don't even know what it's at now, but whatever it's at, I hope it's moving along with the VEPS as it always does. So it's not even really a hope. I don't have to think that it might not, because the probabilities indicate that that's pretty much always what it's going to do. Even when it goes in a random walk, right? As I'm doing right now. Even when it goes in a random walk. Am I in a random walk or a trending move right now? Anybody want to guess? Leave a comment below if you think I'm on a random walk or a trending move. Or am I doing different things on different time frames? Am I on a random walk on one time frame but on a trending move on another time frame? This is a little test for you. Anyway, guys, the point is, don't get stuck trading lagging information, which is only telling you what happened before, right? EMA, garbage. SMA, garbage. Fibonacci, garbage. Flags, boxes, channels, patterns, it's all garbage. Support and resistance levels, garbage. Anything that uses traditional Voodoo TA is garbage. Why? Well, if you're using it to find leading information about what is likely to happen on this candle or the next one, I'm not going to tell you that. Now, are there things that use price-based information or price-related information that we use in leading information? Yes. For example, what? Well, the main number one thing is the Pearson correlation, is we correlate things like volatility, right, to the past price action, right? And that tells us the tendency of the probability of the direction of the move on the current and future candles. That's leading information. But we're correlating it to the past price action. We're not basing it on the past price action. We are correlating the volatility, which again is the standard deviation of returns. We're correlating that volatility to the past price action. That's it. That's all we're doing with that. We're not using it as a price indicator because it's not. It is a correlation indicator that shows us whether or not the volatility, expanding or contracting, together with the correlation expanding or contracting, right? Or if any of those are going sideways, right? Volatility going sideways and correlation going expanding or contracting, or volatility expanding or contracting while the correlation is expanding or contracting. Any of those 6 tendencies will tell you the probability of the direction of the move, of the candle, of the price action. Right? Why? Well, that's how volatility and correlation work. That's the thing that we figured it out at Alpha Trading that other people did not figure out for decades, right? You're going to ask yourself, well, why didn't they figure it out? Well, they just didn't. And we did, because of the way that we used it as traders. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for now. If you want to learn to trade this way, go to alphatrading.com. Sorry, alphatradinghq.com/Discord and join alphatradinghq.com/Discord. I'll see you guys later. Happy trading.